Boris Johnson has been urged to walk away from Brexit negotiations after Michel Barnier introduced a punishment clause which could see Britain slapped with trade sanctions if EU fishermen are banned from UK waters. During a series of private Brussels briefings, the Frenchman accused Downing Street of backtracking on its own proposals for a 3-year transition period for fishing rights. While addressing MEPs, Mr. Barnier said Britain would have to face a potential punishment clause with consequences for any future decisions to close its fishing grounds to EU vessels. The Frenchman suggested economic sanctions, such as trade tariffs, could be introduced to counter any such moves by Downing Street. But Britons have lashed out at Mr. Barnier's proposed plans, with many calling for the Prime Minister to end negotiations now. One reader said, "So Joker Barnier expects the UK to agree to be penalised by the EU unless we guarantee free access rights now and in the future. What does Barnier not understand about taking back full control and regaining our UK sovereignty?" A second reader said, "So basically he wants to punish us for controlling our own waters under international law. This is not the EU negotiating, this is France throwing its toys out the pram. We should refuse to deal with Barnier. How about someone from one of the other 25 countries, not German or French?" "Yeah, I thought not." A third reader added, "More threats from Barnier's mouth, but he is the spokesperson for the EU. So more threats directly from the EU. Boris, walk away for goodness sake. You cannot deal with people like these." Someone else added how the EU had rejected every compromise the UK has suggested during negotiations. They said, the Frenchman accused Downing Street of backtracking on its own proposals for a 3-year transition period for fishing rights. The EU had already rejected every compromise we suggested. While a fifth reader simply said, "For God's sake, Boris, end this farce now." With less than 30 days until the end of the transition period on December 31, both sides are scrambling to come to an agreement. Mr. Barnier told a meeting of EU 27 ambassadors a Brexit trade agreement could emerge this week if both sides can overcome their differences. But he told colleagues he was prepared for talks to run right up to the deadline.